Hello my lovelies, happy Wednesday. So I promised week before last that I was going to show you a few techniques, a few ways that you can paint and colour fabric. And I thought, because we're doing the butterfly this month for our Journal of Stitchery with Rachel and Sarah and Judy, that I would give you some different ideas of how to do your butterfly. You don't necessarily have to embroider that. You can embroider all around it, or you can embroider parts of it. So I thought we'd have a play with some textile paint pens and just have a little play. So this, if you remember, is my background piece, and I've got various layers. Now what I've done here is I've just put some white, a layer of white gesso on here, and this is a little tip that I learned from when I was at college a long time ago, doing the embroidery course, design course. And if you're wanting different textures to be able to sew through, then you can create that with using gesso. You could use gesso on all sorts of different thick textures, different thickness, and you'll get different results. And also if you've got loads of areas where you've got little bits of corners all gathering from your different fabrics, obviously you can sew around them, but also you can gesso over them and blend it so that you're blending it all. It's not just looking like you've got lots of little sharp corners and itty bitty bits. I've got my fabric pens, which are Giotto. So I thought, goodness me, there's an interesting thing, because I know that Rachel does use Giotto glue stick for her fabrics, and with the writing on here, I presume these are made in Italy, and they're called Giotto Decor Textile, and they're really nice for colouring in fabric. You can use them on your stamps. Oh, I found a pin there. So let's have a bash. I'm wanting that to dry a little bit more. I've just got my stamping mat here. I've also put some gesso on some plain muslin, because you can get some interesting results with that, but that's not dried yet. And also what I've brought is, I've got this Stamperia. I'm really disappointed with Stamperia stencils. They're like paper. In fact, I think they're thinner than paper. They're not very robust. But I do have a butterfly on here, and I thought we would have a go. I've not done this with my pen before, with my textile pen, but I thought we'd have a go through this template. So I'm just going to press on here. Sorry if my hand's in the way. Just gently follow the lines there, and I think we will colour this in purple. Now with this, you can see it's a bit like colouring in with felt pens, isn't it? You can see the texture on this calico muslin, and I like that. If you don't like that texture, then you can use it. You know, you can use silk. You can use any type of fabric. If you don't want the texture to be part of your work, then you know, something silk, like something with smaller weave, is a good thing. To have. And this one, I know butterflies don't have blue, they don't have blue antennas, but this one's going to. just really for demonstration purposes. And there we have, and that will be steadfast. These are permanent. So there we have, not very thrilling, I know, with the colours and things, but that just shows that if you've got nothing else and you want to stencil, you've got a stencil of a butterfly, then you can do that. And then obviously you can cut that out and you can put it on your work somewhere. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. So I'm also going to directly stamp on with my stamps, and this is Ranger Archival ink, Cornflower Blue. This should be quite juicy because it is, let's do it over here for you. It is a new pad. I'm trying these out. So far I'm really impressed, I have to say. Okay, let's stamp it on there first, see how it looks. Nice colour, isn't it? I like the colour. Now then, so I'm going to stamp this up. And what I'm going to do is, I've got my little stamping, because the thing is, for good results for stamping, you need a little stamping mat that's a bit of squishiness to it. You do get a good image. Now I'm going to see if we can superimpose this. It's an experiment, girls. We'll see. Give it a good old press. Oh, I like that. I like that. So really we've got the outline of the wings there. That's a really pretty effect. Let's see what it's like then if we do it directly. I really like this colour. It's very pretty. And I don't like buying big inks. You know, I don't use enough of them really for it to be cost effective. So these are a nice way of collecting some colours. So let's stamp directly with this. You need it to be archival so that it'll last. Some sort of permanent ink. Isn't that pretty? Now you see, the thing is with this, that then you could cut that out and you could sew it onto your page and embroider round it or do whatever you want. You can always leave it like that. So I'm not sure if my gesso's quite, we'll have a bash, but I'm not sure it's quite dry enough. But we'll have a bash at it. Now the other thing that you can do, in fact I'll show you that first, is you can colour in. I'll use a light blue. Let me just move my ink over there a minute. You can colour in, like a felt pen, your stamp. So you can, this is probably not the best colour to use actually. I thought I might be able to do it with the fabric paint, but it doesn't work. I do have some special fibre pens that you can colour in your plastic, your stamps, your rubber or your silicone stamps to use, but it doesn't want to do that with the fabric, so we won't bother with that then. So I think I'll be brave. Let's be brave. It might be a bit smudged because the gesso's not quite dry, but we'll see. Where shall we have it? Shall we have it? Have it here. Right. Always press your image down for at least 10. Give it a chance for the fabric to soak it up. Now I like that. It's gone a bit skew whiff in that corner, so I'm just going to stamp that off on there. Right, I don't really want to get my ink dirty. Let's put that bit more down there and see if we can bypass the bit that's Yeah. That's better. Okay then, so I've got a smaller one here. I really should put it on my stamping block, but I didn't get it out. So let's see how this one goes. Oh, that's pretty. Well, okay. So I'll just lift that up, and I think, where shall we have it? In this corner. Let's have it there. There we go. So can you see that it's really pretty? You can see all the filigree on it. So that is another way. So you can stamp onto your fabrics direct with Archival. Now, let's see. Let's have a look what else we could do with this. I wanted to get a little bit, I mean that looks really nice. I don't like them naff things at the top. I'm going to colour them in brown. I don't like them. I don't like them in blue. I thought I was being a bit trendy having blue antlers. Not antlers, are they? Antennae, not antlers. So there you have that. Now, the other thing that you can do with your fabric pens is, if you like, you can start filling some of the little details in, if you want, into this butterfly. Just put a bit of shading on it, because there's going to be plenty of embroidery around here, so I'm happy if we've got some elements here that are painted in, and I won't embroider them. Okay, I'm just going to do a bit. It's quite easy peasy. It's just like colouring in, isn't it? I don't like it in a big area, I have to say, like that, but I am liking it when you're just filling in some of this little minor details that we've got on there. Now, what other colours have I got? Don't know what this. Bit too bright. I don't want it to be over the top. What's this green? No, I'll stick to these. I'll stick to the ones that I have got, and then what I'm going to do here is just going to fill some more elements in. There, into there. And then we'll just put some light blue inside these other markings. Give a little bit of light shade into this one. And of course, because you've got different, I've got cheesecloth and all sorts on here, you find that your different fabrics take up the paint. Right, let's have a look what else I've got out. I've got this one. do I want to have this one on here? I think I do, but I don't want the post stamp on it. I don't think that's quite going to go. What? I've got a green. This is fern green. So let's have a go with this one. Oh, looks more yellow, doesn't it? Let's just move it up there. So let's have a look. Let me have a think. I'm going to do this top bit of there because we definitely want that butterfly on, don't we? There's another one there. I don't want that stamp, so we'll have the flowers on. Bit of script. Let's have a look how it looks first. Oh yes, I like that. Lovely colour. Okay then, so we'll just do that and ink it back up again. I haven't used this stamp for ages, I've forgotten about it. You know, when you go through some of your old drawers and then find things that you like and you haven't used for ages because you haven't seen them. Right. Oh, fingers crossed. Right. So I want it. Let's have it about there, and then it's not going to interfere too much with Oh, love it. Now can you see how you've got different effects because of the different fabric? Now that wouldn't work as well if you hadn't gessoed over it. So I'm really liking that. We've got that butterfly. Now that butterfly's not looking very I tell you what, I think we'll use this one. That there. It may well be as well my gesso's still wet, that's why I'm getting it all over my hands. Yes, I like that. I do like that. And do we want another one up there, or have we got too many? One there. Right, I'll use a different colour for that one. Let's have a look what else I've got. I've got red geranium in this one. Red geranium. Oh, that's lovely. Now, let's have a look at this. Let's wipe it off, make sure it's pretty dry really. Wow, this is going to be a bit sparkly. A bit spectacular. Wow, I love that colour. It's the first time I've used this. I like the tile red in the Distress Oxides, but I like that colour. Right, here goes, guys. Here goes, fingers crossed. Leaving it down perhaps a little bit longer because of the gesso. Right. Oh, love it. Love it. Look at that. Wow. I love that. That's come out beautifully. Yeah. So I don't want to do any more, I don't think, on there, because I do think that there is enough. I might just highlight, I want to take my mat off now. I might just highlight round these little butterflies, so I'll put my arm in there. Just as if I'm painting it in. And can you see how look at these little fibres, how these little fibres in the frayed edges of the fabric, how nice they're looking. That's that one. I'm going to do this one. Get out of the way. Get my tufty bits out. And of course this is mainly, you know, it's mainly a sewing challenge, it's embroidery, but I just thought it would ring the changes a bit. These techniques can be used in all sorts of different sewing projects. You know, once you know how to do them. Just get that bit of fluff off there. I'm just going to do these, some of these markings. Okay. And I'm just going to go around. Just do it in small strokes, and then you know, if you start doing it too big, you might end up with a line that's a bit too thick. You don't like it. There we go. Fab. Just going around these, just so we've got a bit of black down here, just to just even the black out. Now this, you see, this is Indian cotton, this one, so you can see that the texture is completely different. On there. Now, not very green in that bit, so I think I'm going to get my green pen. Wish it was darker than that. Haven't I got a dark green? It's either that one or that one. There we go. Now, I'm just going to put, see how this is drying, I'm just going to put a bit of gesso, just a little bit on the top edge, and then I can sew through that with some It's great with cheesecloth. If you're doing any sort of embroidery work through cheesecloth, it's can you see how it highlights all the texture in the cheesecloth? It brings all the grain out, the weft, what is it, the weft and the waft, weft and the weave, weft and waft. And I'm just doing it with my palette knife, just two, so we've got a bit up there, and I'm just going to put a bit down here, I think. Don't put it on too thick unless you want the texture to be thick, because it does dry quite hard and you lose some of the flexibility of your fabric. There we go. So I'm happy with that. So I've painted that in. Now obviously if you want, you can then just use this as your template so that you could sew. And it may well be that I do some French knots or something, especially that one. I'm not keen on that. It looks more like a bat than a butterfly, I reckon. Oh, we'll see. So you can, you know, fill it in and do different things. I'm really liking this. Now this gesso, is it dry in the middle? Let's just see. Let's just do one just to show you when it's, you know, how much better it is when it's properly dry. You know, I've not left it as long as I could do because of doing the video. I'm covered in all sorts of paint. Let me get a really dry section. Love that. I think I need to give them a wash. Right. That's fabulous. Now the other thing that I perhaps, where's my stencil? Where is my butterfly? So let's just turn that butterfly, where we're going. I'll have it there. Now the other thing you can do is you can use some ordinary, this is metallic paint, so you can use ordinary paint on fabrics. I just wanted to show you, I don't want too much. Let's right, okay. And this is where you'll get your texture. It looks like there's a lot left in here, but I don't think there is, you know. Oh! There is. There is. Let me put that on there. I don't quite want that much on. Okay, let's go. And we can dab that in. I mean, I'm going beyond the butterfly now, but just want to show you the effect you can use by using ordinary acrylics. it's lovely to have a play. It's lovely to play, messy play. Okay. Love that. Look at that. Look how effective that looks. That looks really nice on the edge of there, doesn't it? Right, I am just putting some paint on this stamp. To show you can do this as well. Okay, let me get my stamping mat back. I think right, just going to finish that a bit more in there. Oh! Oh! You're not used to me, I'm not, yeah, you're not used to me doing painting mess, are you? Let's do it on this one. Get some wet wipes, please. Now, this does show you that it's worth you doing. Can you see what I mean about you get a nicer, clearer stamp on fabric if you put a layer of your gesso underneath? This is a bit more of a splodge, isn't it? Thank you. I'm just going to go round and just get the rest of that on there for a bit of texture, and I will sew through this. So when I have finished sewing through this one, I will show it you. Don't be afraid to just roll it, and you know, if it's robust enough. Some of them aren't, are they? But just so you've got a bit of background on it. I know we've lost the definition of what that is on there, but that doesn't matter, because you know, if you're going to be doing some improvisational stitching, you just take your lead with the splodgers. Cracky, these wet wipes are very wet. Right then. Oh, I've right enjoyed that. Can you tell? Can you tell I've enjoyed myself? Right. I've just had a thought. Let me just... I don't want to make a mess of my main one. Let me just get that off my mat. And I just had a thought then what I want to do with this. So pop that up there. Now, it's okay. I might be able to get enough out of that. What I want to do here is just doing my edgings. just finish off just what bit of paint I've got left there. My brush is shedding. And then likely a bit like a dry brush effect, if you like, just down that edge, because that's where it's going to be on the page. And I'm just going to do some dry brushing of and this is where you can also, once your gesso is dry, you can do a little bit of dry brushing over it if you want to give it a little bit of colour and blend things in. You can do that at this stage before you start then. Don't just want a hint of colour in there. Right. I think I've got a lot to wash. Okay guys, I hope you found that useful. It just gives you another dimension, another way of which you can you know, you could make your page. I'm then going to go on and do some stitch on that when that's all nice and dry. And with this piece here, I don't like colouring it in. I didn't like the butterfly coloured in, but superimposing it on top, it did give it a little bit of an edge. And yeah, just splodge some paint down on it, and you can then use that for doing some sewing, or you can just say, right, it's an experiment, I didn't like it, throw it. And then this one, just wanted to show that you do get some nice results by putting some gesso on your fabric. You do get a better stamp, and especially love this corner here. So I will show you that when I've done some sewing on that. So there we go. Hope that's been interesting for you, give you a little bit of food for thought. I better go and have a good old clean up now. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.